This photograph, taken 77 years ago today, on the late afternoon of April 12, 1945, captures a scene in the village of Gottern, located between Weimar and Jena. The image was taken by an unidentified U.S. soldier from B Company, 319th Regiment, 80th Infantry Division. Although the village has changed slightly, the bridge in the background and the oak tree remain as they were. The photo shows soldiers from B Company resting after a march from Possendorf to Gottern. Throughout their journey that day, they secured multiple villages, captured several hundred prisoners of war, and engaged in several minor battles, resulting in 2 fatalities and several injuries.
The St. Truden Air Base in Belgium served as a strategic location for the 48th Fighter Group during World War II. The St. Truden Air Base in Belgium played a significant role as the operational base for the 493rd Fighter Squadron of the 48th Fighter Group during World War II. The airbase, which was originally constructed by the German Air Force, was utilized by the American forces after it was overrun in September 1944. From this airbase, former P-47 Thunderbolt pilot Ed Cottrell flew the majority of his 65 combat missions. The primary objective of the Thunderbolt fighter bombers stationed at St. Truden was to attack and disrupt German ground forces, including convoys, trains, and tanks. In the summer of 1944, the airfield was bombed by the U.S. Air Force, but it remained in American hands. From October 1944 to March 1945, the 48th Fighter Group continued to fly combat missions from the St. Truden Air Base. However, the base was not without its challenges, as it was attacked by German fighters during the Operation Bodenplatte offensive in January 1945, resulting in the crash of an FW-190 aircraft on the runway. During his 5-month tenure at the St. Truden Air Base, Cottrell was quartered in a local school with his fellow pilots. Tragically, 2 of Cottrell's roommates, pilots Ted Smith and Art Summers, were shot down and killed during the Battle of the Bulge. The St. Truden Air Base served as a crucial strategic location for the 48th Fighter Group, enabling them to conduct important air operations against German forces throughout the later stages of the war in Europe. Lee Miller in Weimar, an artistic portrayal of a wartime correspondent. The photograph, titled Lee Miller with the Essentials of Life, a Cigarette, Wine and Gasoline, Weimar, Germany, 1945, was captured by renowned war correspondent and photographer David E. Sherman for Life magazine. The image depicts the renowned model-turned-photographer Lee Miller in front of a villa on Trierer 50 in Weimar, Germany, during the final days of World War II. Miller and Sherman likely spent 2 to 3 nights at this location between April 14 and 16, 1945, with the scene remaining largely unchanged to the present day. The photograph serves as a compelling visual representation of Miller's professional journey during the war, as she transitioned from a successful model to an accredited U.S. Army military correspondent, documenting pivotal events such as the Allied invasion of France, the liberation of concentration camps, and the confrontation between American and Soviet forces. Throughout her wartime experiences, Miller's photography provided a unique, first-hand perspective on the unfolding historical events. Alongside Sherman, she traveled behind the front lines, capturing the realities of the conflict and the aftermath of the Nazi regime's atrocities. The poignant image in Weimar serves as a testament to Miller's resilience and her commitment to bearing witness to the complexities of the war through her photographic lens. In the years following the war, Miller's mental health reportedly declined, potentially a result of the profound impact of her wartime experiences and the haunting landscapes of the liberated concentration camps she had encountered. This photograph, and the broader body of work created during her time as a war correspondent, stand as a vivid and indelible record of Miller's remarkable professional journey and the indelible mark she left on the field of photojournalism. The 2 original photographs presented were captured by the renowned war photographer Robert Capa during Operation Varsity on March 24, 1945. Operation Varsity was a major Allied airborne operation that involved the deployment of over 20,000 British and American paratroopers across the east side of the Rhine River. Kappa, embedded with the troops of the 513th Parachute Infantry Regiment, parachuted alongside them and documented the chaotic aftermath of the massive airborne assault. Despite the immediate outbreak of battles, Kappa maintained his composure and captured several historically significant moments through his lens. The first photograph depicts a medic providing first aid to a paratrooper who was likely wounded during the jump. In the background, a parachute hangs over a telephone line and a farmhouse is on fire. The second photograph showcases the same farm from the opposite perspective, where a burning German half-track vehicle and a wounded German soldier can be seen lying in a ditch. These two photographs, along with several other images from the operation, were subsequently published in the April 1945 issue of Life magazine, solidifying their place in the annals of war photography and documenting a pivotal moment in the final stages of World War II. On April 27, 1945, the 3rd U.S. Army reached the cities of Erfurt and Weimar in Thuringia, Germany, as part of its advance eastward. During this operation, the 3rd Army also liberated the Buchenwald concentration camp. For many Thuringians, this marked the end of their experience of World War II. The advance on Erfurt and Weimar was led by the 4th and 6th Panzer Divisions, which were tasked with quickly moving from Gera to the Saale River. Behind them, the 80th and 76th Infantry Divisions were responsible for thoroughly securing villages and towns and clearing any remaining pockets of resistance that the panzer troops had bypassed. Erfurt was initially bypassed on April 11th, but had to be taken in battle the following day after a surrender request was rejected. Weimar, on the other hand, accepted the call to surrender on the morning of April 12th, allowing the U.S. troops to secure the city without incident. Footage from the 4th U.S. Armored Division's advance on April 11th shows the initial fighting in Gispersleben, followed by the division's movement over the farm in the present-day Erfurt Zoo, the Rotenburg near the salt works, and through the villages of Kerspleben, Tuttleben, and Kleinmölsen. After being ambushed by a German tank unit near Kleinmölsen, the Americans withdrew to Tuttleben, where they engaged the enemy with tank and artillery fire, as well as air support from fighter bombers. A reconnaissance unit from the 4th Armored Division then moved on to the Ettersberg, becoming the first U.S. unit to encounter the Buchenwald concentration camp. This passage provides a detailed account of the military operations conducted by the 80th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during the advance towards Erfurt and Jena in April 1945, towards the end of World War II. The passage describes the specific movements and actions of the 3rd Battalion, 319th Regiment of the 80th Division, focusing on the activities of Company M as they marched through the village of Egstedt, south of Erfurt. The passage highlights the historical significance of the photograph, which was taken during a break in the march and shows a corner of a house that can still be recognized despite changes to the building's facade over the 76 years since the event. The information about the source of the photograph, provided by the author Anja Buresh and the Erfurt City Archives, adds to the credibility and context of the account. The passage provides a detailed timeline of the division's advance, including the roles of the 4th and 6th Armored Divisions in leading the attack and the subsequent clearing of villages and pockets of resistance by the 80th Infantry Division. It specifically outlines the movements and actions of the 319th Regiment, including the capture of several villages and the eventual surrender of Weimar to the regiment on April 12, 1945. Overall, this passage offers a professional and historically accurate account of a specific military engagement during the final stages of World War II, with a focus on the detailed movements and actions of a particular unit within the larger context of the broader military operations. Here we end with this distinguished video, which contains very powerful and secret information from World War II. We ask you to support us by liking the video and subscribing to the channel, O Heroes. This content deserves appreciation and respect. Always remember, we must not forget them, and we wish for lasting peace among human beings. Life is not worth doing with it all. These wars, love and peace are the basis. Thank you for watching.